Greetings, visionaries. This is your host, the INFJ Visionary. Let's talk about perfectionism. I think we got a video quite a ways back, but it's time to loop around. By the way, you see me in my visage as not a dragon, but a sort of female. That's one half dark AI and the other half light gold. Nice image. Hey, yeah, enjoy it. Okay, so now I want to give him his due. Michael Pierce. If you haven't seen his videos, put in Michael Pierce INFJ and watch that video. The first one's 11 years ago, but the even better one is the revisited. That's from 9 years ago. Nobody can touch that guy. And I've got some of my inspiration from some of his videos, and I'll tell you why. So I have a friend that comes around the place I do my work, and it just occurred to me the other day, well, do you know what your type is? He's like, nah, I'm believing none of that stuff. And I'm like, yeah, this isn't just some make-believe whatever. This is scientific. So I send him the test. He comes up, he's an INTP, which doesn't surprise me because I make friends with INTPs quite readily, and sometimes fall out with them too quite readily. That's a topic for another video. But uh, digging around, I was thinking, oh, I know he's on the fence with this stuff. I want to send him the Michael Pierce video. So that's why I got in. Of course, I had to watch the INFJ one again. It's been maybe 3 or 4 years. And this is one of the things he touches on. But that's all I'm going to say about him because we're going to do our own thing here. Yeah. Idealistic perfectionism. Now, I have my perfectionistic tendencies. I think we are on a spectrum, right? Maybe some of us are so immobilized by perfectionism that we can't get anything done. Or some of us just have a sense that things are not perfect. I think that's the operative thing, if you want my honest opinion, which is what I'm going to give you. I always do. Um, we want. This is one thing that he was saying that really resonated with me. Like, if I discover a new thread or somebody doing research in an area that I'm interested in, I don't want to get into too many specifics because I know a lot of you guys don't care about some of the stuff that I might be into, and I like to keep things broad. The broad strokes. That's what we do in here. Um, this is my thing. I will keep watching videos, reading books, and digesting ideas until I start getting a lot of repetition. And then I'm pretty much out. I'm pretty much done. Now, the more extensive the teaching or the ideas or the over of the individual whose work I'm researching, the longer I could be into it for a year, you know? Or I could be in and out relatively quickly. But I will be I will be in it until I see that repetition. Until I go, okay, I heard this idea already. Heard this already. I'm hungry. I'm hungry for the connecting ideas. I'm sure you're probably the same way too. I think that's INFJ all the way. I do think we seek internally perfect systems. You know who's a great example of this? His name was Plato. If you haven't heard of Plato, pretty much the father of modern philosophy. Well, that could be debatable, but this isn't a philosophy channel, although we certainly touch on it quite a lot. He had his perfect system of governments called the Republic. Which he outlined in his book, The Republic, and it wasn't democracy, I'll tell you that. And I don't want to stir any feathers here, but what's the problem with democracy, huh? What do you think? Well, tyranny of the 51% over the 49, right? And not only that, being an INFJ, you're probably pretty clever individual, pretty smart. Well, you know what? Your vote in that system has just as much weight as some easily manipulated NCP, right? So that's not good. That's not a great system, and we see that in evidence. Do I have better ideas? I don't know. I haven't read The Republic. Well, I know the basic ideas, which are that, and this is where I used to, get really triggered. It's like, oh, an elite should be running things. And I'm like, elite? I don't like elites. But he doesn't mean like moneyed elites that are just, the money's gone and power has gone father to son for generations. He means people like philosophers, people like scientists, people that have applied themselves in their minds to the serious problems that we face in this world, and that these people should basically be, I don't know, forced or coerced into spending some time actually governing us, because they have wisdom and will make decisions that are in the best interests of all. That would be the best system, and I'm inclined with age and hindsight to agree with that now. Yeah. The question is, how do you get those people? Topic for another video, topic for another channel. Anyway, you can see that I'm interested in a perfect system. I can see the problems with something like governance, for example. I can see the problems with the economic system, with the YouTube system, as I mentioned in my last video here. I have other things I do on YouTube, and let me tell you, they used to be pretty cool, and now they're all about the money. To give me the money. And that's a real problem with the world. And being having the ability to envision something more perfect, a system where I'm sure people that wanted to work hard and get ahead, they could own 2 houses and 5 cars or whatever. That doesn't affect the rest of us. But when it gets so utterly weighted to the point where the majority of everyone can't even get a house, or they can't get much, meanwhile, people that are already super uber wealthy are just accumulating more and more. That's an imperfect system, and it messes with my idealism. It messes with my idealistic perfectionism. Okay? I don't like it. I tell you what I do like is philosophy. And, I was talking to a friend of mine recently. We'll do this at the end here. That guy, his first name starts with an A, and his second name starts with an H, and he ran stuff in Germany during World War II. I don't want to say his name because I don't want to get flagged or nothing. I'm not a believer in whatever. But what I will say is a lot of people think that guy is an INFJ, and I don't agree at all. And I've had debates with people in comments about this on channels, INFJ channels, I don't think he was an INFJ. I think he was probably an ENFJ. And I only know one ENFJ real well, so I'm not qualified to make a lot of statements about ENFJs, especially, contrasting them with one of the most negative figures in human history. But what I can say is that, for example, I brought up his book, My Cup or whatever, Comp or whatever, and yeah, my friend pointed out, yeah, there's not a lot of philosophy in there. It's just propaganda. That's not an INFJ thing. We can do propaganda, but it's always in service to deeper ideals. It's always in service to our perfect ideals, isn't it? And yes, we can maybe manipulate things for a little while, but we don't have the ability to carry that thing on long term. It's just, I think it's antithetical to our introversion. It's antithetical to the things that we really care about. And we do care about society. We do want a more perfect society. And then, so my friend says, oh, what about Gandhi? He made a lot happen in the world. I says, yeah, but he was responding to a situation that was unfair. And he was right place, right time, right intellect, and right moral sensibility to affect the change. And so it's not that I think INFJs couldn't carry themselves well in the world and be famous people. A lot of famous actors, I can tell you that. Although, I don't necessarily need political views from an actor, but hey, that's just me. We have a natural lean towards holism, everything being interconnected. No part is separate. And come on, that's how it works. This drives our perfectionism, and without which, when we don't have a complete understanding of something, we don't feel comfortable. And I totally agree with that summation from old Michael Pierce. Check out his. I'm not going to put a link. This is not that high a maintenance channel, but I am so happy to talk with you today, INFJ. And until I come back, do me a favor, keep on keeping on.